Hello everybody out there. Had a pretty fun couple weekends fishing. Really nothing to speak of in terms of any big catches, but I was sitting there thinking about some things that, kayak fishing is it's awesome. I mean, I'd rather be in a kayak than a boat any day, but it does have its downfalls and it does have its disadvantages. And a couple things that happened to me the last couple times I've been out on big water I want to talk to you about. Right now, here it is, it's beginning of August and there's not a breath of wind really. It's 85 degrees, but it can get hairy out in the water. Even when you look at the forecast, wind and water and land, things can change pretty dramatically. And so I want to kind of talk to you about being prepared to how to fish and how to be on the kayak on big water. One of the things that is very important you do is look at obviously the forecast and look at the wave forecast before you get out there. They're just forecasts. They're not 100% accurate. So I just want to tell you, obviously, be prepared. First and foremost thing you ought to do is obviously understand and maintaining and being the captain of your own vessel. Understand your limitations. Understand what you can and can't do. And obviously always have your PFD on, and I also carry a radio when I go out. But what happens when things change? What happens when you're caught out there? This happened to me actually a couple times. We were calling for really dead flat calm seas. The wind was supposed to lay down, maybe no more than 10 knots. But again, things change. The atmosphere changes and things do occur when you're out in the water. And what do? Well, first of all, again, be the captain of your own vessel. Understand your limitations, and don't get when you are caught out there. Experience on the water can help you through a pretty hairy situation. I was out there in the Chesapeake Bay. I was fishing about 3 or 4 miles offshore, and the wind changed from the west, which usually lays down the seas, and it came out of the southwest, and then started coming out of the south, which went against the current, and all of a sudden we had 3-4 foot waves. It's pretty hairy. And so what do? Well, first thing you do is learn how to angle the front of your kayak to go against the waves and kind of angle yourself towards the shore. The worst thing you could do really is to surf your way in. The times I have flipped my kayak is when I'm 100% parallel or perpendicular to a wave coming in, and a wave will crash over the back of my kayak and drop the front nose into the water, and then you lay your kayak over. It's not fun, and that does happen. But always put yourself at a 45-degree angle against the waves, or if you're not against the waves, 45-degree angle when you're putting yourself in. It allows your flexibility. You have to zigzag yourself back to shore. Always look at, if you have a depth finder, find your depth finder, because there's hidden sandbars out there that have bigger waves than a normal, let's say, 10, 20 feet of water. You're going to find those 5 to 8 feet sandbars out there a lot of times, and then next thing you know, you're in what you thought 3 or 4 foot waves, now you're in 5 to 6 foot waves, and it just gets really, really ridiculously hairy out there. Fish with a partner. If you're alone, carry your radio. It's a huge deal. Obviously, again, just be prepared for the worst. When you're out there, and let's say you're taking on water or whatever, and you're in a hairy situation, carry a bilge pump or carry those handheld pumps with you. If your kayak starts filling up with water, it's going to fill up with water. Even though that these gaskets are pretty water resistant and watertight, you're going to take on water. It's just water coming naturally over your bow or in the back. It's just going to fill up, and just be prepared to pump water out of your kayak. Also, too, when you're out there and things get a little hairy, you can sense and you can see the horizon. You can see the waves start building. You can start seeing the wall of water, so to speak. Be very diligent about what's going on. I like to see, I'll be honest with you, I like to see what nature's doing. If you don't see a bunch of birds out there flying, if you don't see a bunch of boats out there, if you don't see, you know, activity that you see on a normal time, it's time to probably just kind of be prepared and get yourself off the water. Also, too, look at your radar. You know, when you see, you know, I have a weather app. Look at your radar. Don't wait till the very last, you know, 5-10 miles before that storm gets to shore to leave. You know, I mean, time yourself out. Look at that radar. Be smart. Give yourself a good hour or an hour and a half before that storm gets there to get yourself off the water. The worst place you can be on in a storm is on the water. You're sitting duck at that point. But big water fishing is so rewarding, but it can be so dangerous. And you know, as I said, the last couple weeks I've caught myself out there. I knew going into it, you know, it had a possibility of doing it. But again, prepared, experience on the water, those tips I was telling you about, again, angling yourself into the waves and out of the waves is huge. And also, again, know your limitations. It's all about experience. It's all about, again, being safe, knowing your surroundings, be aware, and have a plan when something goes wrong. You should always, always, always know how to get yourself, if your kayak flips, get yourself back on and get yourself moving again. That's a big thing. Water rescue, learn to do it. It's huge. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. Please like, subscribe. Going to have some fishing videos coming up, especially when the fall bite's going to get ready to hit heavy here. Can't wait to see y'all. If you have any comments or questions, love to hear from you. Be safe. Take care.